morning. I am Doctor Ralu Onubogu. I'm back in Istanbul for Toby's remainder dose for the stem cell therapy. I'd like to share so far my journey with Toby since we got the initial stem cell treatments in March. So it has been a very interesting journey so far. Seen a lot of things. So after we got the treatment and we went back, Toby was a little sick right after. He, a little under the weather. For about a week, we experienced a little bit of diarrhea, some vomiting. I kept him home from school and we watched. We just kind of kept an eye on him. I spoke to his doctor at home and they said it was okay to just keep an eye and we'll see. I think maybe everything was just settling in his body. So after that, Toby got better. Toby resumed school. At first, I think the first thing I started to notice was a reduction in anxiety levels. So usually Toby is really anxious. He's a really anxious kid. Toby will wait for me at the door or by the window, when it's my regular time to come home from work. I noticed that Toby wasn't waiting at the door or window anymore. Toby would wait and if I was late by even a few minutes, Toby's there shouting, "Mama, Mama, Mama's car. I want Mama," anxiously, and continues to build himself up, until he has like a full meltdown. So wherever I am, when it's time to get home, I'm rushing. I'm trying to get home so that my son doesn't go through all, that anxiety thing. It took a few weeks after we got back, but now Toby doesn't do that anymore. Toby, if I'm not home, if I'm late coming home, Toby's walking around, going about his business, not waiting at the door or window. And then I also noticed that anxiety, just kind of cut across, or reduction in anxiety cut across his entire life. If Toby asks for something or wants something, he wants it right away. He's, I want steak. He will perseverate on wanting that thing, or, I want this. And if you don't give it to him, he'll keep going until now he's all anxious and having a meltdown. Right now, if Toby asks for something and you say, no, not right now, he'll wait for some time before he'll ask again. And, it's not this whole, I'm perseverating on something, I want this desperately or I'm gonna die encounter. It's more like, I would like this, can I have it? Oh, give it to me. But if you won't give it to me, okay, maybe I'll try and convince you later. It's a nicer feel. It's not the anxious do or die perseveration that leads to negative behavior. So I've seen like these behavioral switches that I thank God for have made life easier for the family, for Toby as well. And because Toby's anxiety was coming down, it gave me the courage I needed to start to work with his physicians to taper down his meds. Toby was on a lot of meds, meds like clonazepam, clonidine, Qelbree, regular allergy meds for managing his behaviors, helping him sleep at night, or the ADHD, all those different things. I'm happy to say that we've basically cut down Toby's meds to 50% of what he was taking. His clonazepam is completely discontinued. He's still on Qelbree, but half of the dose he was taking. He takes regular allergy meds because he has allergies, but he's doing so well that I'm hoping that, who knows, maybe the regeneration will continue to happen and he will no longer need the once-a-day Zyrtec that he takes. The clonidine we give him at night to sleep, we don't give anymore. Toby's sleeping well. I see an overall improvement in Toby's situation, in Toby's circumstance. He's not completely off meds, but he's, like I said, taking about 50% of what he was taking. And our goal is to get him completely off meds. So this is 3 months after the procedure. We were told that the way it usually works, or they've seen it in some kids, is that after they get the remainder boost, which is 10% of the stem cells mixed with growth factors, you even see much more improvements. And the stem cell treatment, progress is slow but steady, since it's regenerative and neurons are, nerve cells replicate at a very slow rate. So we're waiting and watching. Toby's diet has expanded. Toby is now able to eat more things. So before, Toby was very restricted in what he ate. Toby will eat eggs, steak, rice, and then he'll have some chips, Doritos. He will have frosted flakes, snacks, things like that, some crunchy stuff. But for food, he ate those 3 things: rice, and not every kind of rice. He ate rice one way: white rice with palm oil and salt. That's it. Now, we would make other things and Toby will be curious. We at first didn't even start to give it to him because we got used to Toby not wanting anything. Toby on his own started to show interest in the foods that we have. So we would cook maybe rice and beans or beans, and Toby will want to try it. So Toby will want to try it. Toby will basically ask for the food, get the food, and eat it, you know. He'll try something, he's not sure he likes it, then he stops eating. Before, if you get beans in Toby's mouth, he'll spit it out. He won't keep it in his mouth. He'll freeze and then go and spit. Right now, Toby will eat it and actually swallow and then decide if he likes or doesn't like. This is miraculous for us. So we have Toby trying all different things. There's still so many things he doesn't eat, but Toby's eating way more food than he was eating before, and not freaking out over the ones he doesn't like. You know, it's more like, okay, I'll eat it, I'll swallow it, but I don't want more, as opposed to, oh my God, this can't be in my mouth. So that's you know, like the situation with the food. Let's see how else he's doing in other aspects. I think, and I had mentioned he's sleeping well, even with less pharmacological interventions. So overall, I've seen a lot of benefits. I must also mention that the biggest concern I have with Toby and this his autism diagnosis, which I'm hoping one day will go away, I'm praying. But the biggest thing is Toby's limited speech. Toby's speech is not good. I pray to one day have conversations with my son. Right now, Toby talks really like a robot. It's more like, I want rice, eggs, water, and then we'll say, Toby, make a sentence. And then he'll say, I want water. So that's how he talks, like, you know, really robotic. That's how Toby talks, and that's not what I want for my son. I want one day to be able to have conversations with Toby, to talk to Toby talk back to me about his day. And this is the big wish and big dream that I have. You know, I'm hoping that this treatment gets us closer to achieving this. In that regard, right now, I haven't seen any improvements yet. Toby still talks like robot Toby. He still says, I want rice, I want steak, and I'm hoping that as time gets better. I was told after the treatments to get him as much speech therapy, as much therapies as we can, and we're doing that. So he's working with his therapist, you know, and we're waiting to see looking for improvements in his speech, you know, both expressive, receptive, all of that. We're waiting to see that. In that regard, I haven't seen yet much change, but I'm still hopeful. So that's our journey so far. We came into Istanbul yesterday. We got the remainder dose and we're leaving back to New York, and I'll keep you all posted. Thank you.